Hi, I'm Peter Birch, and in this show we're going to take a closer look at two genus of Australian pythons, the Liasis and the Aspidaites. You're watching CrittaCam. For me, the colour of these Aspidaites ramsey-eye, the Womas, are absolutely amazing. Those bright, vivid yellows and oranges contrasting against the thick black banding is absolutely amazing. These guys inhabit Central Australia, right over to the west coast. In fact, anywhere you're finding a sandy region, you should be finding these pythons, hence their other common name, the sand python. Now, believe it or not, they're also a reptile feeder. They'll eat just about anything these guys can find. They do not have the heat-sensing pits on their lip like most Australian pythons. So these guys will eat everything and anything, including their own kind. Now for me, one of the most impressive things is their reproduction. A snake this size can produce about 6 eggs. Each egg is quite large. Now with some of the southern species of Woma Pythons, they can produce much large clutches, up to about 20 eggs. And for me, it's that beautiful, cute little face. And even they've got these little black eyelids. Absolutely amazing animals. But more importantly, you can start breeding these for different types of colours, just like this guy down here. As you can see, the colours and the bands actually start to disappear. So through selective breeding, making it a polygenic trait, we can reduce the thickness of the bands, giving it an absolutely amazing colour. And more importantly, look, the little black eyelids disappear also. Absolutely stunning animals. Now these are both tanimized, so they come from Central Australia, which is pretty amazing. But for me, the giant of all the Woma Pythons would have to be the South Australian Womas, and I've got one. Let's have a look at him. These guys are absolutely beasts of animals. Look at the size. And believe it or not, that is a Woma. That is an adult male South Australian Woma compared to a Tanami Woma. Look at the size. These guys are absolutely beasts of animals. And believe it or not, at this size, they can eat just about anything, including larger animals and larger reptiles also. Now, they do make great pets. They typically hatch very easily, and once they hatch, the babies are very easy to get on the food. They're basically, 95 to 98% of the time, they go straight on their food, and they make absolutely stunning animals. Even these guys, the silvery looking South Australians, are truly magnificent beasts. This is the Aspidaites melanocephalus, better known as the Blackheaded Python, because of that magnificent black shiny head. Just like the Woma Python, these guys also do not have any heat-sensing pits, which means they can eat lots of different food items. And in fact, in the wild, these guys prefer to eat reptiles, including their own kind. And believe it or not, in captivity, that has been seen on many occasions, where people are putting these animals together, coming back only to find one big large female and a missing male. Now these guys inhabit the total top of Australia. Basically you can find them from the west coast of Australia right across to the east coast, also inhabiting Northern Territory. And they do come down as far as Cameron's Corner, which basically is where the Northern Territory, Queensland and New South Wales border connect. They are absolutely stunning animals. They lay up to about 5 to 12 eggs, and for the size of these animals, their eggs are quite large, nearly 100 grams basically in weight. Absolutely monster eggs. Now, they do have an awesome reputation to be sneaky little buggers, especially when handling. So typically, I wouldn't trust them too much. That's for my sake anyway. But this girl, she's an absolutely beautiful creature. Just one other thing I'd like to mention. The reason why they have this black shiny head is because they love to inhabit burrows. Not their own burrows, oh no. They like to steal burrows from different animals, including mammals and birds. Now what they do is they go down into the burrow, coming out during the late evening, putting that head out, the big solar panel. They put that out, it warms the brain, allows the brain to function at its normal rate, and then heats the rest of the body accordingly. They're a nocturnal species like most pythons, and they'll come out and feed at night. But also in that burrow, well, when they go down and find the inhabitant, they actually strike or attack in a very different manner. They use their body to push the animal up against the side of the burrow to crush it. And then they'll grab it, and then they'll start to wrap. But that ambush sort of attack is very, very unique for most of the Aspidaites. both the Womas and the Blackheads, and they're very unique because they're only found here in Australia. What beautiful animals. The Liasis fuscus, better known as the Australian water python, not because it lives in water, but because it lives closely around the water, eating large water rats and other small mammals and bird species. But they've also been known to take small Australian freshwater crocodiles. For me, that's pretty interesting considering they do have heat sensory pits on the bottom of their lip, like most of Australian reptiles. Now these guys will eat just about any type of mammal and bird that they can find within their area. A female at this size can lay up to about 20 eggs, so their reproduction is quite easily managed. They're quite easily to breed in captivity, and the babies typically start eating very easily, which makes them a great pet indeed. For me, it's that beautiful white bottom lip on their face that makes them so attractive, along with that nice bright orange belly. Absolutely beautiful animals. The Liasis olivaceus, the Australian olive python, an absolutely beautiful animal. And in fact, this is the eastern type, growing to about 4.5 meters and weighing in at around about 12 to 15 kilos. Now they can get body masses up to 20 kilos, but for captive breeding, it's not very well recommended. Ugh. Better known as the gentle giants, these guys have got a great personality, an absolutely spectacular animal. Just like the water pythons, they have this dark coloration on top, but as you can see, they have this beautiful creamy white belly, making them very easily to distinguish the difference. Now olives will lay up to about 30 eggs, and once again, those babies are typically a little bit more difficult to establish feeding because they like to eat things like birds and mammals. Unfortunately, in captivity, they have been well known to eat their cage mates. So it's best that we don't put these guys together unless you want to come back to one very large olive. Now olive pythons have their name specifically for their coloration, that beautiful dark chocolate to almost olive coloration, and their beautiful white bellies. Now I think these guys are absolutely spectacular animals in their own right, but as everything goes, everything always looks better in white. And what do we have here? I'm going to bring my little girl over here to say hello to little Creamy. Now Creamy is an albino olive python. Just like the big girl here, this thing will grow to about 3.5 to 4 meters. A big, beautiful white snake. For Australian enthusiasts, that is absolutely amazing. And the white ones tend to have a little bit better temperament as well. They are absolutely spectacular. Even within the albino olive pythons, there seems to be some colour variation already happening, just like this high yellow animal and this snow white animal. Absolutely spectacular animals in their own right, but I can't wait to see what the future holds for these beautiful coloured animals. Absolutely amazing, majestic, beautiful creatures. Wow, those albino olives were absolutely amazing, something to die for. Please leave a comment below, hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. You've been watching CrittaCam.